Welcome everybody to the Town of Darien Sewer Commission regular meeting. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019 at 4:30 p.m. We are in room 213 of Darien Hall, Darien Town Hall. And we're going to call the meeting to order at 4:33 p.m. We're going to manage our appeal agenda as best we can with folks patiently waiting in the hallway. But before we start, we want to welcome a new member of the family, so to speak. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Penny Appizides.
Penny Appizides.
Yes,
All right, and you started when?
October 15th.
And you are
Account clerk.
an account clerk with the Department of Public Works,
In the sewer
but
department.
specifically to support the Sewer Commission and Sewer Department. So, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you all.
Thank you for accepting the job.
Yes.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you for
I called her on the
giving me the
phone
job.
and I told her
I
that.
apologize ahead of time for Bob.
I apologize for myself. But I also told her that this is the worst, you know, she's right in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
She came in
12
right-
appeals on one agenda.
Right into it, so it gets easier.
Yes.
My questions get harder, but it gets easier.
And thankfully, you've got Cindy next to you and Tim are across the street, and hopefully you'll get up and running very quickly. So thank you very much for hanging around. Did you get everybody's name?
That would be
Good. Susan,
Susan's easy.
Reese, Craig, Peter,
Peter.
And that person.
and
Bob
and the one.
Bob.
Bob already has an asterisk, right?
Well, you're welcome to stay, and you're welcome to go home.
Bye.
Plan B.
Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you.
All right. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes from October 1st.
I don't think you'll see any red because I think I did these.
Wow. That's throwing the court reporter under the bus. Boy, that's
No, I'm falling on my sword because I know,
No, the red is his correction,
yeah, the red's my corrections.
so he would be,
I didn't correct my own. Although that doesn't mean there aren't corrections.
that would be fun. I didn't see it.
I didn't see anything.
And I'm abstaining because I wasn't here.
But you read it.
I read them.
You didn't see
I
any
looked for errors
typos
too.
or anything.
I usually depend on this came
I
from
have a couple
before.
for the Bob.
Oh, yeah, grammar.
Grammar, type, or spelling, you know. I'm born editor.
That's
what
all,
can I
that's
tell
all
you?
yours.
But no, I saw nothing, and they looked good. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
all right. We have a motion to approve based on minor corrections. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And one abstention.
401. Minutes are approved. All right. We're going to start on the sewer user fee appeals, and perhaps Darren,
Yeah.
you will call the first.
Yeah, I don't know if they're here. It's what's the name? Elizabeth.
Zaza,
Zaza.
83
I
Middlesex.
have seen this property. They took down the house
Elizabeth
and it looks
Zaza
like they're
here.
putting in
Elizabeth
pollinated
Zaza,
cactus.
83 Middlesex.
Yeah, they're not putting anything back.
This is the house.
Elizabeth Zaza is not here or not
Me too.
answering.
I was thrilled they were.
Bob, do you think this is an easy one?
I think it's an easy one, I think it's a slam dunk.
Okay, so let's proceed.
Because if you see the paperwork that's there, it says that they're not replacing it, and it says permanently abandoned for the lateral.
So we
So
want
I
to
would
go
make,
zero.
I would make a motion that we, change the sewer, service charge for this year, to 0.
Okay, do I have a
I'll
second?
second that.
Any further discussion on the motion to grant the appeal to 0?
I just want, you don't want a prorator or anything for the year?
It was not.
No, they were disconnected.
Well, so for the whole next year, there is no house there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was knocked down back in March.
You're here for an appeal?
All right.
No, I wanted to see if Robert Hill was here.
I'm right here.
Robert Hill.
Yes.
He said he filled it out already. Here, Ray.
We are on camera.
We have
Just
to-
FYI.
Okay,
Did you not get it?
I did get it, but we have to talk.
Right.
Okay.
So just tell me when we can sit down for 10 minutes.
How long are you gonna be here tonight?
When are you finishing?
It's gonna be like an hour and a half.
6?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be easier for me to do it today, cause tomorrow
I'll be
I'm not-
here, 6 o'clock. I'll be
Okay.
here. Okay.
Alright, thank you.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
nice
Ray.
to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, appeal A is granted. 3B, 7 Wakemore Street, Glen Powell.
We have Glenn Powell with us right now.
Okay,
Here he is.
hello, Mr. Powell.
Hello, how are you?
Okay,
And
alright.
Bob, you wanna summarize this, or ask the
well,
appellant to summarize?
He can summarize, but, cause I don't know what an aquatic tank is.
Okay, so what's the nature of your appeal, sir?
Fish tank.
Fish
Okay.
tank. Now, the thing is, well, the bill went up from, what was it, 774.05 last year
Yep,
to 2635.20 this year.
yep.
Mhm.
Haven't changed anything in the house, haven't had any leaks or anything. And I
Well, but
had,
you did say your water bill went up.
well, no, sewer bill, sewer bill.
Well, so you know how our sewer bill is calculated?
Yes.
It's based entirely on the water bill.
Yeah,
So if your water bill goes up, your sewer bill goes up based on the assumption that that additional water is going down the sewer.
exactly. Now, I called the water company, right? And I seen, I got all the mark, and I see how it went up. Nothing changed. I called them and I said, what could have happened? I mean, was the meter bad, something like that? Oh, she goes, well, it's going back down since. I go, but nothing has changed, nothing at all. And then she's telling me, well, a lot of people have called from Darien with, sewer, the bills they got that they've gone up. And I said, well, I don't know, nothing has changed in the house, nothing.
So when I look at your water use records, I see that from November to March in 2017, you used,
No, that'd be,
well, I'm gonna start over, all the
Okay,
way
all right.
over on the right.
okay. Oh,
Uh,
way over here, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
you used, it would have been 7, 8, 8, 9,
38.
6. So it's 30, that's 38?
Yes.
So you used 3,800 cubic feet of water, then moving to the next bill year, 2018, through that same 5-month period, you used 5,700 cubic feet of water. And then this year in question, 2019 bill year, that same November to March period on which we base our bills, you use 180 cubic feet of water. So your water use tripled over last year and almost quintupled over 2 years ago.
Exactly. That's what I don't get it.
And you don't have an explanation. So do you have a sump pump?
Yes,
Do you know if that sump pump uses electricity or water pressure?
electricity.
Okay?
Is the drip system outdoors?
No, it's inside.
So
Okay.
you would notice if it was
It was leaking, yes. It's, in fact, what it does, it drips water into the tanks, it changes water out automatically. And then it's pumped into the sewer, and then I was told maybe I should just pump it, to irrigate the yard. And I said, well, I can do that too, that's not a problem. Because and it hasn't changed. I put it in last, 2018, in the beginning, I put that system, in. Haven't changed anything, any of the drip, nothing. And that's
Do you
why
have a
it's
running
like,
toilet?
no, that's what, and I mean, if I had a toilet run, I'd fix it. No, there wasn't one. That's what was driving me crazy. That's why I called the water company to see what was going on.
So I see your point. $2,600 is an exorbitant charge for a typical single-family residence. How many people live there?
My dad and me.
2 people. The water records show why we sent the bill the way we did.
Yeah.
Now, normally in this situation, we have some record of an anomaly. It was a running toilet, it was a leaky faucet, it was a broken this, it was an inoperable water meter. Whatever it is, there is usually some explanation behind why the water use spiked. So I guess what I'd like to do is maybe, with discussion of the members and what your thoughts are, is table an action, to give you an opportunity to try to find more information. Maybe you ought to have a plumber over, just take a look at things, look at all your fixtures, look for leaks or running or whatever, to see if there's an explanation.
I'm handy. I'll fix any of the plumbing at the house
Okay,
if
so
there's
you're-
anything
you're
wrong.
handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing is running. That's why I can't come up with it. That's why I called the water company saying, is the meter bad?
Yeah.
And then the lady said, now it's going back down.
Yeah, you're still, I mean, you're still running, last 3 months, 2,200, 1,700, 2,100. I have a family of 4. My water usage in a month is usually like 600 cubic feet. So there's still something going on that seems like you're using more water than you're using.
Could it be leaking outside somewhere?
Because
If you don't see it in your house.
Well,
Did you
that's
leak
what
out
I
the
was
meter?
wondering.
Leak
I
out
was
the
like,
meter?
is something leaking there? That's what I asked the water company. you
Where,
know?
where is your meter? Basement, meter
Basement, it's in the basement.
Water
Okay,
meter's
so
in
if
the
it was
basement.
leaking outside,
would
it'd be
be-
irrelevant because
Yeah,
it's
because
before the
yeah, the
meter.
meters, yeah, exactly.
Okay. You know, you have the big dial and then the little,
Leaky spigot. Yeah.
the little red thing in there that's moving.
Yeah,
Alright. Make sure everything's off in the house. Go down and look at that meter and see if that thing is
Spinning.
still
spinning.
moving.
Yeah.
Then that would be, that's an issue. Toilets sometimes are very difficult to tell if they're
Can't even
leaking.
hear them.
What they do to tell if they're leaking is you put dye in the tank
Yeah, and see if it goes into the
and
bowl.
see if it goes into the bowl. I mean, you actually have to stare at the edges because it could be the tiniest little ripple. And if it's doing a half a gallon a minute, that's 720 gallons a day. There's 1,440 minutes in a day.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much
Multiplied by 5 months.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no,
so-
no, no. I
for
know
it
what you're
to,
saying.
So there's gotta be something going on. We would love to grant you an appeal. We don't have the information we need to know that this water bill has gone back down and that an anomaly has been solved. Because even though you might not be consuming the water is getting into the sewer, we're sending it to Stanford, and we're paying Stanford for it.
Yeah,
So we wanna know in a situation like this, before we reduce a bill, that the problem's been solved. And then we're reducing the water we're sending to Stanford. So I still think, take only a month, dye test your tanks, turn all the water off, look at the meter spin. I think these are all great ideas to try
now
to get to
which,
the bottom of it.
any of the dials that spin, or is it just one of the dials? I'm like curious with that. I don't-
where's that picture?
In the center,
In the center, the
triangle,
center one?
there's a
Alright.
triangle
Yeah,
that spins.
see if that one's still spinning. If I turn off all the water.
This is the meter, I believe this spins.
That's the one. Okay.
This
Check
piece
that
right-
tomorrow.
right in there, because that does like, it does tenths of these
Gotcha.
as it spins. There should be 10 little protrusions on that.
You could shut valves down in the basement too. if you can
Yeah, 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 that's
isolate
what I would
things.
do.
And while the
Yeah,
appeal
yeah.
is pending, there's no interest charges
Yeah.
while we resolve, you don't have to worry about
Yeah, I
that.
know, because I just got the bill today, my dad's going, oh, they charged us Thursday, they told me to do.
Yeah, don't worry about the
I
interest.
told him, I said, calm down, I'll take care of it.
But ideally, you find something, you fix it. We have the next month, which shows a 6 or a 7 or an 8, and then we can make some assumptions about what we think the bill should be.
The only other question I had is the sump pump. Does that go somewhere outside, not in the
No,
sewer?
no, that goes into the sewer.
This
Yes.
sanitary
Yeah.
sewer?
Okay.
That's,
the
that's,
problem.
if you would correct that, we would be very happy, because that's.
Oh, well, it's
that's a legal
actually, well,
connection.
no, it's not, sorry, not a, what I'm, sorry.
Yeah,
It's an
go ahead.
it's an under sink
Oh,
pump,
got it.
that's what I was talking about, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a lower sink.
Oh, so you have a
Not
basement
that
Johnny
Yeah.
pump
Yeah.
under your
Exactly,
utility.
Okay.
Exactly,
in the
it's not
basement.
some,
And eject
now, the other thing is, if, with the drip system that's on the fish tank, and I'm dumping this water, if I dump that water like to the yard or used it for, cause it's on pumps that are pumping in
Yeah.
clean water, if I did, but then how would they do that? If I pump that water that's going from the tank into the yard, how would they know how much
Yeah,
water
and
is?
I think that water belongs in the sanitary sewer. You know, it's not clean, it's contact water. So it ought to go to the sanitary sewer. So whatever trickle might be coming in and out of that tank,
Yep,
perhaps that's adding up, it's a little too much water and you should dial it back. I don't know how this thing filters.
Yeah,
But
but it
obviously,
just
you know,
drips and then puts it
what I
out,
like
you
to
know,
say to
it
people in this
changes
situation is you're paying for it coming and going, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah,
paying
yeah,
Aquarian
yeah,
on the
I
way
got
in,
it,
you're
yeah.
paying us on the way out, so
Yeah.
make your systems as efficient as possible.
Yeah, it's just so crazy, how much it went up.
Yeah.
That's definitely weird.
Yeah.
How do you dechlorinate the water? Do you have filters?
I have filters for it, yeah, so, I've been into this for a long time.
But yeah, if you see especially your water usage from November, February of last month, it went
Insane.
crazy. I mean, just in 1 month, it was,
5,400.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's what I was
Just,
looking at.
just in February of
4,000
last,
gallons?
no,
Or
40,000.
40,000 gallons.
Just in February of last month, used 40,392 gallons.
It's a big swimming pool, right?
That's a very big swimming pool.
You know, that's what I'm looking at, because nothing was changed in the tanks, because I went down and started taking things apart, checking
But-
this, that.
Well, but
Back
it peaked
40,000
there and
gallons
then-
into minutes.
Yeah,
For a month.
day.
Let's see.
Come on.
So wait a minute, that's, wait a minute, well, I gotta figure out if it's a,
1,500 gallons.
that's only a 28-day month, so we'll say 30. Divided by 30, divided by 1440 equals, just about a gallon a minute, 0.9 gallons per minute. So that's how it adds up.
Yeah. So I'm
Well,
gonna turn that
it's
off, I'm
starting-
gonna turn them all off and
I
see
don't
that meter's turning,
Yeah,
for one with the water off.
start isolating
Yeah.
zones, and then if,
Yeah.
if it's toilet upstairs, you shut that one off.
Yeah.
You stop spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you can
Turn them all off.
Oh,
turn
The
Yeah,
angle
no, I-
stops
yeah,
at the
yeah.
bottom of the toilet's
Yeah.
off.
Crazy.
All right.
Alright.
Motion.
Make a motion
Hey, no
to,
meat.
take no action pending further investigation.
Freeze any penalties.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
You will be asked to, yeah,
Second,
because I don't want
seconds,
to bring
all
the
those in favor?
information.
All right, next appellant, please.
Okay.
Okay.
There is no Richard Quintel, do you wanna move on that, or?
Yeah, no, we have to ask him, cause he said there's no reason for it to
Okay,
have
so that's not a
spiked.
slam dunk, we need to see
Yeah,
the
that was
appellant
weird.
appear.
It's spiked from 10
Let's
to
move to
50.
D.
Peter Judy Nance? Peter
Yes.
Judy Nance,
Sure.
3 Lakeside Avenue?
Do we wanna act on Peter and Judy Nance, or do we wanna table?
Basically, well, I mean, I would say I'd rather have them speak, but basically they moved here from Wait, and they showed us their Waiting bill, and they say they spend 6 months in Florida.
All right, let's
But is
table.
this the one where they moved into a house and they're claiming it was the
Yep.
prior
Yep.
owners?
Yeah.
Yes,
But, okay, so I have a question, and, because I'm new, fairly
Well,
new.
hold on, I'm gonna stop you there.
Yep.
The appellants aren't here.
Oh, okay.
And since it's a related conversation,
Are we tabling it then?
I think we should.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. I know.
As long as we're tabling it, then I'll
They're-
ask my
they're-
question when we're,
Well,
When we're
I guess,
up
I guess we can, yes, sir.
Okay, good, I'm sorry, finish the sentence, and I'd like to make a comment, just to keep us moving.
Okay. Well, it might be longer than a sentence.
Go ahead, you do then.
I'm
Okay.
waiting, I'm waiting until they come.
This is not an uncommon appeal.
Right,
The prior homeowners use more water than we use,
I get the spurt.
and your sewer user fee is
Yeah.
based on their
Oh.
use, not
Yeah.
mine.
So my
And so the
question,
question is, what do we do about it?
my question is, what do you do about it? Because it seems to me that the water was used, and if you want an adjustment at the closing, you should
Can't do it.
be paying attention to adjusting it at the
It's
closing.
impossible math.
He
problem.
loves you right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, the water got used, we paid for it, I'm just asking, what do you guys usually
no,
do?
you're paying in advance, you're not paying in the rears.
But somebody used the water, so somebody needs to pay.
Yes, but we're using past history to project future bills.
use, yeah.
Okay.
So,
So nobody pays for it, and it just gets,
Still adjudicating
I
the case.
think
Come on in.
we have had a tendency, when presented with reliable data, to grant.
I'm good with whatever you
You,
guys
but
do.
you could,
Good to see
you
you.
could think in a very purist fashion
Yeah,
that we calculated it correctly, or regs say this is the way we calculated, it's the way it is. You could say that.
yeah,
But we tend to try to find the intent of the reg, which is how much water is being used and put down the drain.
meaning in the future.
Ish.
Yes.
Ish?
It-
All right,
it's-
well,
it's-
I'll
it
I'll
gets
just-
gray.
I
It gets
just-
gray.
Yeah, okay, because that was my
Because
question.
we've had people come in and
Because
make
of
that
you.
complaint, but they were using this much less water, and we said,
And we've
You
never
want some
had the
data?
counter argument where I
Yeah.
use a lot more and I'm getting a deal.
yeah.
No, I've heard,
Let-
All right,
okay, let me
So who do we
say,
have appearing?
I haven't heard that one.
Excuse-
Wait.
1 second, please.
Yes, sir.
One comment.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I know you're gonna go down the list.
Yes, sir. Oh, is it easier to see who's here?
But my recommendation is that if Darren can't find them out there, that we jump over it.
And then we come back
And let's
again.
go back. And
Okay.
and if you do wanna talk about them at that point, at least all of the residents that come through.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's a great idea. Thank you for keeping us in line. Is this
Mr. Barker?
Mr. Barker?
Chris Barker.
All right.
How are you?
Very good.
Nice and
Nature of
cozy
your
in
appeal,
here.
sir.
Okay, so we've had a well charge for about from what I can go back as far as 1996,
Mm.
that 544, which well, it didn't used to be that, but as it's climbed up.
Yes.
And so all of a sudden, now it seems as though we've changed to off well charge. I know that we had this issue last year, and then I contacted the sewer commission, or, contacted Public Works, and they rectified it. There was a communication between my father, who owned the Gardner Center at 1396 Post Road, in the past with someone back in the day, I don't know. And the reason why we were always on well charge was because the majority of that water is being used for plants. So we only have 2 sinks and we have a toilet and a urinal. And we don't have a washing machine, we don't have showers, we don't wash cars, anything like that. So I provided a map that's in there that shows you there's only 2 outdoor spigots that we use for irrigating the plants. And it's hand watering. So the area that's underneath the greenhouse is hand watering, so that's going directly into the pot. And then the area towards the back or the bottom of the map that you can see there, we will use like a sprinkler that goes overhead, but that's all going right down into the groundwater supply.
And I imagine that you're also irrigating inside the building, so there's water use inside the building that is irrigation?
So what we do inside will fill up from, it's kind of 50-50. A lot of times the sink is being used just for people washing hands or whatever, so we'll go out to that outdoor spigot, and the woman who runs the greenhouse likes to fill up a bucket, and then she actually dunks the plants in the bucket, so it's not even running off out of there. It's, it's really conserving the amount of water.
So I see
No, it doesn't make
there was a similar appeal made 3 years ago, and we granted the appeal subject to the installation of an irrigation meter. Is that, well, it's how most commercial properties still do it?
Like Nielsen's,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we do on 12 months, and if you've got some outdoor watering, you put a sub-meter on the irrigation, we read the irrigation meter, compare it against your domestic use and subtract. So that's where we wanted to go 3 years ago. Is it feasible to install an irrigation meter?
It's already there.
Okay.
So I've already had the plumber come out. So he looked at it, he said that it was relatively old. I've already gotten a quote to get it replaced. I have no problem getting it replaced.
Okay.
It's like right around
I
$500
mean,
bucks.
it might be that your bill will go down less than the well charge. You might go down to the minimum charge, given the description of your domestic water use.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that what we can do is, because obviously there's some sort of a meter from Aquarian coming into the building, right? So if we did that and then, I don't know, subtract the
Yeah, so
irrigation.
basically all you have to do is get on our list.
Okay.
And we will automatically try to go out each year and read your irrigation sub-meter.
Okay, yeah.
And so, as soon as you get it fixed, call in, let us know it's fixed, we'll take an initial reading, and we'll start that process year over year.
Okay,
But I think your request this year is a reasonable one, given your willingness to get that irrigation meter fixed and get on that program.
yeah, not a problem.
And his comment was accurate. You take the aquarium bill,
And then
irrigation,
subtract
and
that.
you subtract it.
Yeah.
That's what he had asked, I'm sorry.
Excellent. So do I have a motion?
I would make a motion that we grant the appeal to the 522 well, right?
544.
544.
then. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, that's right.
to 544.
I'll
Second?
second that, make. I'll
Susan
second it.
seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Great,
Appeal
thank you.
granted.
So then, there's a list that I need to get on, that's correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You can call and
Call us,
talk
we'll take care
to
of it.
Penny.
Start with
Penny,
Our new
all right,
person.
and then I will get that meter replaced.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right.
That's how I would want it.
Okay.
I would definitely, for a lot of reasons.
Well, I'm glad to know what you're doing.
From the-
Hello, sir. I trust you are Peter Adler of 6 Hillside Avenue?
I am, thank you.
Okay. What is the nature of your appeal, sir?
Well, 2 winters ago, pipe froze in my bathroom. And when it cost a fair amount to repair, and when I was talking to the plumber, since the pipe's on an outside wall, he said, well, one thing you could do is run a trickle of water through it. So last winter, that's what I did. And surprise, surprise,
You had to pay for that
I
one.
had to pay for that, not only to Aquarian,
Coming and going.
but you got it. So this winter, I think what I'm gonna do is probably shut off that bathroom and drain the pipes, but that's why I'm here.
Okay, well,
So I thought maybe what you could do, I know that in the past you've used the 2 lowest quarters and then annualized it that way, and now you changed to the 5 winter months and annualize that. turns out my anomalous water usage was in that 5 months, so maybe we could just use my actual water usage for the year, or go back to the
Yeah.
old way of the two lowest quarters, something like that.
Bob, did you do the work on this one yet?
I did. Well, first of all, he used 2,900 units of water, which is extra, which is 22,000 gallons. So 22,000 gallons went down the drain that someone's got to pay for. What I would, do you have a sprinkler system?
No.
Okay. So what I was able to ask for and received the usage for the entire year. So what I would propose is, no, I would propose that we charge him for the number of gallons he used for the whole year. I'm sorry, he
Yeah,
used,
that's, yeah, okay.
I
So what was that?
understand that, yeah,
I think that's a fair compromise between one and the other.
good enough.
So
So
that,
what's the answer?
the answer is 555.10.
555, 10. And you think that's a reasonable compromise, sir?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
believe me,
Yeah.
I started thinking of these on Friday, and I only actually do the calculations today.
This is,
So I try and,
we have to
make
pay
it very
for the
fair.
water.
I understand.
Do you make a motion, Bob?
want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we amend his bill to 555.10.
I'll
So how does that work now, as far as my paying it goes?
These gentlemen here will get a new bill to the tax collector and they'll issue a new bill. You don't have to worry about it.
I also got a bill today for interest on the old one, so
Don't
you'll
worry
take
about
that off?
He'll just go away.
Okay, so I'll get a new thing in the mail that says, okay, here's your bill.
Here's your bill.
Since it's more than 400, it'll be in 2 installments, or I can pay it all at once.
This is true. I think it's 500, the break.
Oh, okay.
Or
All
500,
right.
yes, if there is a division.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you for
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? 5-0. Appeal is granted. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
I mean, I actually give these.
I know you do.
I look at
If I
them.
hadn't been away this last weekend, I was gonna call you up and say, I'm coming over.
Hello,
Show me
please
how you do
introduce yourself for the record.
Hi, I'm Andrew McClure. My father is John McClure.
Okay.
Okay.
676 Boston Post Road.
Yes.
All right.
Shall we hear the summary, Bob, or do you want to provide it?
Leaky toilet, basically, they say for 3 months. In those 3 months,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
they put almost 150,000 gallons of water down the drain
That's a drag.
from those. And then what I did was I
Was
took.
the house occupied during that time?
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, it was.
And so, I say that because, so we recently converted over to, part of the issue is we recently converted over to just a rent fee that includes all of your utilities.
Oh,
So with your tenant in there, it's sort of like, I'm not,
the tenant
I wouldn't
doesn't
say I'm
care.
not paying for it, because indirectly they are, but it's no more or no less, and so.
They don't have an incentive to recognize that the water's
Correct.
leaking.
Correct, and they also don't really speak that well of English, and so, you know, it was the
Communication
communication
barrier.
part of it and stuff like that, but there was a little communication gap, but, you know, we fixed it, I brought the invoice that shows that we fixed it, and
That's
it's
helpful.
substantially less than there. Also, you can see, you know, from going back several years, that it's a total anomaly, from there, you know.
Yes,
With it, that.
we can see that.
Those-
And with it, the bill being almost, you know, 6 to 7 times what it was last year, there, you know.
Looks like maybe the house wasn't occupied for 4 or 5 months last year.
It wasn't, correct, right.
Those numbers are an anomaly, yes, but there's 6 months of data after the leak was fixed.
Yes.
And those, I'm assuming, are not an anomaly. I used the first 3, the 10, 11, and 10.
That's very reasonable.
Divided, yes, I know that. Divided by 3 times it times 12 times it times 610 and came up with 756.39.
Okay.
So
So
I
he's
will,
basing, instead of basing the water use on November through March, he is basing the water use on January through March
Okay,
and annualizing that.
okay.
Which will still isolate any outdoor use of water, which is why we did it.
So that would be 756 for the year?
Yes.
So when did the toilet was it September, October that it started to really fail?
It was fixed on, the invoice date is 11/17.
Right, so it is like September through November.
I mean, you can see the, basically the 49, the 85.
Yeah,
and
but I'm
33.
seeing 25, that's not low either for
Yeah.
July.
Well,
And it's
33
July.
in December and it was fixed in November.
Yeah.
You're right, 25 could have been irrigation outside.
Yeah, could be.
Mhm.
Do you have any kind of irrigation in the yard?
No,
It's,
it's a very, very teeny.
Well, I think it's clear.
okay,
Let's move.
okay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to amend his bill to 756.39.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Unanimous, appeal is granted, thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate it, thank you.
Just
No,
wanna-
it's because I was gonna go
Yeah,
with
yeah.
tangent. Sensed it.
I saw it,
Does a
but I
new
was-
invoice
I
get
know.
sent out or
Yeah.
something, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll send one out to you.
I
I think we were paid like a portion of the order like that.
Oh, up?
So the tax collector will put a new bill together, send it out. We'll
I can
subtract
live with that.
I know.
Ah,
I
see that. Honest man, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, usually it's the other way
Fine.
around. Okay.
Mrs. Reardon's on deck?
Hello, please announce yourself for the record.
Rosemary Reardon.
169 Long Neck Point Road,
Yes.
okay? 3H in the packets.
Okay, so what it is they use their water 1 month longer, their outside water 1 month longer than our current system takes into account.
There's irrigation water in November.
Yes, so what I did was I took the other 4 months of that, 4324, added it, divided it, annualized it, came up with 3,900 for the year, times that times 610, came up with 237.90. So I would make a motion to amend the bill to 237.90.
I suppose that sounds fair to you?
Yes. It was my mistake. I didn't realize that I had to call to have a
Irrigation
meter
system.
read.
Yeah, it's 84
I
cents
thought
a
it
month.
automatically happened.
Yeah. What's that?
What's the minimum?
84 cents less than that.
I was right about there. Why am I doubting?
All right, we have a
Can I
motion.
second that?
Reese seconds it.
Thank God.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, the appeal is granted.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Hill, what was that number again?
237.90. Sure.
Thank you. Nice chatting with you. Bye-bye. Yes, thank you.
Miss Dean is here.
Okay.
This one we had new information at
Hi.
3:26.
Hi, announce yourself for the record, please.
I haven't seen
Hi,
it.
I'm Suzanne Dean. Yes, she said that she did not get the letter to my appeal to you guys on Friday, so.
19 Behringer Road.
Hopefully you got it today.
I got 2 attachments on an email today.
Yeah.
I did not get it.
Water main leak?
Darren, do you
Water
have
main leak,
copies?
yep, so we've had a water main leak and I've actually come before you guys. I think this is my 3rd or 4th time, actually.
Well, thank you for being a frequent flyer. You don't get any credit for that. but-
Darn it.
It's important. Okay.
So no, it's really just everything that I'm gonna tell you. So yeah, we had a water
Mhm.
main. You can see, you all have hopefully the Aquarian bill.
Yes,
so you
dated
can see.
August 16th, 2019.
Yep, so you can see, actually, oh, yeah, the August one, it still would show on there.
Yeah, it
So, last, you can see the,
You were
leak
using
was-
4,100 cubic feet in
Yep.
October and November, and you had
Exactly.
the leak repaired and immediately went down to 800 cubic feet.
Yep, exactly. So that's considering, at this point that all of our children are now out of the house and our overall consumption is down. I'm looking at an average of 6 CFF, and if you annualize that, that comes to 72 at the current rate of 6.1.
I'm guessing Bob used December through March and annualized that.
Yep.
I did not.
You didn't? Wow.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
I mean, I can do it in about 2
Well,
seconds.
what did you do?
Yeah.
I kind of went, and I remember last year us kind of striking a bargain when we were going on the bottom from years past, and I
The
had come
minutes are in here. Go ahead.
and I had
Finish your
come
thought.
up with I thought we were going to use the same number as last year, but I could change
We
this.
used the We used 538 last year.
Yeah, that was, yep, I saw that came,
Time.
It's this one.
so,
No, every year so far. Would love to have a year that your water works.
I would too.
Okay. All right.
Are you
sure?
So if, what?
I'm new and I have a question.
Yeah, hold on, let me
Ask
hear
away.
this calculation. Yes?
Am I waiting or not waiting?
No, go ahead.
You
Go
say
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. So you said because it's based, future is based on past,
Yes.
but her last 3 years have been really high and you've given her.
Because she's had a leak every year.
Every year I've had a leak.
Now, is your water line under treated?
But her,
wait a minute,
but her
wait a
leak,
minute, we're
wait a
paying
minute,
for that
Hold on,
but
let-
her
let
leak,
Susan talk, please.
but her leak is outside,
Bob,
It's outside,
yes.
always?
Yes.
She has her meter by the road, and the leak is in between the meter and the house.
Ah, okay,
it's
then
not
never
going
mind.
down the drain.
Okay.
And that is the problem,
And it
you're
grows
right,
under the
Reese.
trees, right?
You know what, the most recent one, we have a row of hemlocks, and so the most recent one, which we've been talking to Candy about, is, you know, they put it right underneath, these hemlocks are now fully matured.
Yeah.
So we got in there and they repaired it last time, but, you know, I'm just thankful for safety
2020
valve.
hindsight, 4 years ago, you would have replaced the whole line.
Yeah.
But now
Exactly,
you've replaced,
so.
you know, fixed 4 pieces of it, you know. Yeah.
Well, and actually last year, that was, yeah, so it's the PVC, and so they did put copper from there to at least the last leak, so, you know, I wanted to hopefully be covered for that with the insurance as opposed to paying for that out of my pocket as we had to for the first,
Yeah.
you know, for the first leak, so.
Well, it's annoying for
Um,
you.
So, that's,
Did
you
that
know,
answer your question, Susan?
Yeah, it's outdoors.
Okay. So do we, so
Yeah,
What's the math?
what if,
All right.
what if we did the math?
if we take those 4 months, comes to 29, divided by 4, 7.25, times it times 12, comes out to 87, times 610 is 530.70.
And that's-
okay, you didn't like mine, huh?
6, I can't find a way to
There's
work
only
6.
one, I
I-
see 1 month of 6.
I
There's
used all,
sevens,
I
there's
used
eights.
all 7, and I still, all 7 good months there.
Yep.
After the leak is fixed, and the best, you get 7 there,
As an average.
as an average.
Okay.
And usually,
So, yeah, the way I look at it is that normally we bill November through March. There's a bad month in November, so I'm looking at December through March. Based on December through March, the bill would be $530.70 per Bob's math.
Okay.
And that seems
I'll
to
accept
be,
Bob's math.
seems to be in line with where you've been the last 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
no, well, it's coming down, it was
It is.
92 last year, so now it's down to 87, so.
And if we get the real read, maybe next year it'll be even lower.
So can someone make a clear
So-
motion?
I'll make the motion to amend the bill to $530.70.
Second? Peter seconds. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Unanimous, appeal granted. Thank you very much. Good luck.
No
this
offense,
year.
I hope I don't see you
Good luck
guys
this year.
again.
Good luck.
But, and good luck to you, if
Thank
you
you.
remember.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
all right, thanks so much. And so
Okay.
you'll just send the new bill, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Nope, are no more members of the public here at this
Okay.
moment.
So we still have C, D, J, and K. Bob, I'll ask your opinion. Are any of these simple?
Excuse me, can I make
Simple, no.
a recommendation?
Maybe
K
K.
is easy.
K is easy, simple.
For everybody's consideration? Could we jump to executive session
Oh, might as
and
well.
in
Yeah.
case the sewer superintendent needs to leave?
Oh, you've got somewhere to be.
I'm good right now. Really, you went through all of these, no, I'm good.
Well, I think
We
the
can
only
still
K
do
is
it. We can
is
still do it.
K.
I
Oh,
can do
7?
this.
Yep, that's fine. So do I.
Thank you for your consideration after I told you not to do it.
K is
Yeah,
the
we can
other
do
K.
K.
No, but we could wait, Darren, if you think
Oh,
it-
okay.
people might pile in if we go do the executive session.
Well, we'll be here anyway, so.
Okay.
K is being billed to a house that has been raised.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
I would
you
make
think
the
K is a
motion.
simple one.
I would make the motion that we
Grant.
make it 0.
Where are you on K?
Yes, Stefanoni?
Second.
Now, is that gonna stay raised, are they gonna rebuild, are they gonna, but I guess we'll
Well,
work out the
we'll
prorate when they.
cross that
As soon as they sign up, we put them right back on the
Okay,
list.
so we have a motion by Bob, we have a second by Peter. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Appeal is granted. And do we want to wait on C, D, and J until we have an
Wait a
appellate?
minute, names, C, yes, D, yes, J, yes.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Wait,
I mean, the only one that's close is C,
Wait.
because basically C is,
and J.
I mean, excuse me, D, was C, D, and J, right?
Yes.
Yes, CJ.
Yeah, D is more
Well,
philosophical.
C and J are absolute definite, someone has to be here. D is, if you go by what they said, what it is it's two people, they moved into a house in Darien, they're showing us their weight and water bill, and they're saying that they spend 6 months in Florida. So they're asking for the minimum.
Where's the weight and water bill?
SNEW.
It's
I got it.
a landscape profile where
Does that,
it just shows that they weren't there for a while, in my opinion, because there's irrigation there. When they're there, there's irrigation.
does the data that they have provided support their request for an adjusted charge?
Probably, I mean, it's the same 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths from the house they moved into the house they're, from the house they moved from to the house they moved into.
And what was the bill we sent them?
689.30.
And they're asking for 230.
They're asking for the minimum, which I believe is 237.06. I think, I saw it somewhere.
Well, do we want to consider or do we want to wait? And if we consider, does anybody feel strongly about granting?
Which one are you doing now?
We're talking about
D.
Nancy.
Lakeside.
Lakeside Drive Avenue.
And their water bill from,
I said, let's try to do it if we can.
Yeah, in the months that they weren't. I mean, I'm pretty good with it. I'm not positive with it, but I'm pretty good with it. If that answers it.
I'm pretty good.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant the minimum.
Do I have a second on the motion? Susan seconds. Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor of granting the appeal on 3 Lakeside Avenue for Peter and Judy Nance, say aye.
What's the amount?
All opposed?
The minimum, I believe, is
Reese's gonna
237.06.
say no.
I'm gonna say no on that.
So, are you saying no because you think buyer beware, they gotta pay the bill as we calculate?
No, I just think that they should have been here.
Oh, okay, so
Okay.
you don't have enough information without their testimony?
They may be in Florida.
Okay, that's fine.
Already.
Yeah, right.
4-1, and he was against.
So, for now, we're gonna move on with our
For
agenda,
Nance.
at
Who made
least
the motion?
Peter.
temporarily. Peter made the
I
motion,
seconded
Susan
it.
seconded.
Second.
Right.
We're gonna,
I'm looking for where it said the minimum,
Yeah.
there was a spot in
That's
there.
okay.
we're gonna, for now, continue, having tabled, 3 Roland Drive, item C, and 32 Old Oak Road, item J. Item 4 on the agenda is the fats, oils, and grease separator ordinance review and discussion. We all spent
Yeah, it is
the rest of the month
237.04.
reviewing and re-reviewing the ordinance. Do
Yeah, wait a minute, I read this, and
I have to get my copy from the last agenda?
it's the red that is what we asked for, correct?
Anyway,
No.
we have a new one?
Yeah, I thought so. Alright, so anyway, where you wrote, all sampling shall be, 6 of 9, all sampling shall be performed by a qualified and approved laboratory, period. It said proper chain of title, in my profession, it's called chain of custody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. Chain of custody shall be followed during the sampling process.
6 of, no. Oh, keep going. You're out of the appeals.
There, and then when you go on to 8 of 9, first I had a question, because this one I don't know the answer to, but I just want it, I don't know if we need to clarify it. in A, it goes on to say within 10 days. Do we need to clarify if those are business or calendar days? No, I'm
Good,
Yes.
no,
I'm
good,
just asking, I don't,
It's like, whoa,
Yes, no,
you could be a lawyer.
no, that's a good question and we should clarify.
yeah, there's a certain term for.
I think
kind of
business
lawyering.
days is reasonable, the
Okay.
days that they're open and
6 and
operating.
8.
8 of 9.
8 of 9.
The first one was here, chain of custody.
Right there.
Yep. And then up here on days, I didn't know if we needed to clarify as in either calling it business.
You were
or
thinking calendar when you wrote 10? That gives them plenty of time.
Yeah, no, either way is sufficient, I just think we need to clarify, that was my
Okay.
thought there.
So your intent was calendar, so we'll write calendar in there.
10 calendar days.
Is that enough time though?
Well, but they are allowed to ask for an extension in C. And then, let's see, in E, and again, maybe it's written fine, but to me, I thought it should say, the property owner or the FPE owner may appeal any or all fines to the sewer commission? It says through.
Sure, I like 2.
Okay, then I would say period, or, I mean, I wouldn't say period, but upon request, I would change that to by requesting to be placed on the agenda of the next regularly scheduled meeting. This request shall go through the sewer department. If you like the way it's written, that's fine. I couldn't make sense of the way it was written, I'm sorry.
Yeah, attending is different than placing on the agenda, I like that, and yep, I wanna say it again so Darren can write
Or
it?
hand your page in.
Darren,
Is it on your pages?
who are the permits in? The user?
Yeah,
Are they the user or the landowner? If it's a restaurant, is it the tenant?
Right now, it's the restaurant.
Then I don't know why the landowner is involved.
Because
Property owner.
if the restaurant changes hands, we wanna be able to go after the owner of the property, I think, is what our intent was. Okay, by requesting.
You can have
Yeah,
this,
the
I
owner-
just, okay.
They don't hold the
And then
permit.
on F, I just
We
thought
don't
it
hold the
was
kitchen permit.
kind of awkwardly worded. What I did was I took and I wrote, if found to be in non-compliance with the fog regulations.
Ultimately, they're responsible for a sewer user fee. Not the tenant.
Yeah, they pass it on the lease.
No, you can
Lease
take this.
expires.
I just- There's a couple
I
other
just
I
things
think
I
we,
need to bring up
we gotta
before.
keep it the owner.
Maybe
But if you
we
wanna
gotta-
talk about it, let's talk
They
about
may
it.
not
Maybe
want it that
we
way.
ought
That
to
was just the
notify
way
the
when I read it.
landowner when there are violations.
You'd have to.
It's easier?
Is that
I
in
think that's where
here?
we started.
Okay,
You'd have to do the tenant.
I mean, is that in here?
So, okay, one at a time. There is an interesting discussion occurring about tenant versus owner. Understanding that the tenant might be the operator of the kitchen, might be by lease the person responsible for maintaining the fog. However, we deal with the owner. The owner ultimately is responsible for the user's charge. But there is a gray area here in that the health department could be doing a kitchen inspection that the tenant needs, and we find out and ask for the fog records, and so we're dealing with the tenant trying to get the fog records, and we find some non-compliance, and then we have to issue a letter. We have to be sure that we're issuing that letter to the owner as well as the tenant, I think.
It says and shall be notified, so I guess that covers it.
What letter is that?
D, property owner and FPE owner shall be notified via certified.
We do
annual
both.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that the property owner would want to be notified.
No, I think we, not would want to be, but we need to be, because ultimately, we are of the opinion that the property owner is where the buck stops.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, but I'm also just saying, as a property owner, I think they want to know what's
Yeah,
going
well, I
on on
would
their
agree.
property.
Yeah, so.
Well, who gets the
Dave
fine?
does it, yeah, okay.
Let's just say there's a major violation, do you issue a fine to both?
Property owner shall
No,
Tenant
if there's,
first.
if there's a restaurant in place, we're gonna issue the fine to them.
Okay, nothing here
If
says.
they are to skip and leave,
Yeah,
then it's gonna go to the
well,
owner.
maybe we should add that, the fine shall be
Because they
levied
won't get
against
their
the.
new, they won't get a new permit from the health department until we've completed that, which means he's paid the fines and have upgraded their equipment to work.
So maybe we need a paragraph G that says the fine shall be levied against the permit holder first, and if not successful, the landowner, something like that?
So here we go, every person violating any provision of this article or refusing to comply with any order made here under shall be punished as follows, fine. So maybe we gotta go back to that word person
Well, you
in
Citizens
A.
United.
You know, it's very interesting,
Because the landlord's not violating a provision, it's the tenant.
yeah,
So they could say, not me,
yeah.
it's my tenant. I mean, you know some people.
Or the
in
tenant's
town-
gonna say, well, I contracted with, you know,
That would be
ABC
very difficult.
sewer pumping service and they never came, so they're the person violating it.
Who holds the permit? Does the health department hold the permit for them?
For the restaurants?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd go through the permit first, if you're gonna drive a truck at it.
Oh, no, we're gonna go after the restaurant. If it's up and running, we go after them.
So I just think we need to clarify any person, entity, business or owner, you know, something like that violating. Because it's
Entity, business or owner?
every,
Well, no, the Supreme Court held that corporations can be people, and for political Citizens United allowed.
Well, instead of entity.
But it's okay to.
I don't know
Entity or
that
FPE.
I don't know that,
Peter did.
that case law rested on the
Common
term,
sense?
the use of the term person.
Okay.
I think we could
How
clarify
about
the term
violating,
person.
violating entity?
Well, I think we just put
Every
them all in
person,
there.
entity, business
Any
or owner.
entity?
Yeah,
There's no harm.
harm in
clarifying.
having the words, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So one more time for Darren's note taking.
Every person, entity, business or owner violating any provision.
Got it,
Thank you.
okay. All right, any further,
Yeah, an F. To change it around, so it says, if found to be in non-compliance of with the fog regulations, the FPE will not be able to renew its annual food service permit. The other way, it's just kind of awkward, saying the FPE, if found to be in non-compliance, will not. I just think it's clearer if you move it over to there, that's all.
Yeah, it's a clearer sentence.
Sorry.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have to.
No, I'm
say-
not.
then you're
Because
gonna
if I
have to
wrote
say,
it originally, I'd probably do it that way.
Until.
It's easy to second guess
rectified.
someone.
I'm sorry, hold on one
And
second.
have, if we go this way, if found to be in non-compliance with the fog regulation, the FPE will not be able to renew its annual food service permit, which is by the town of Darien, forever, in perpetuity?
Oh, okay.
Until they comply,
Until they.
Ah, yes,
until they comply.
right. Until found to be in compliance.
Or until found to be in compliance. That's-
Yeah, who's gonna found it?
Well, I'm very happy with, where this regulation is. How do you feel about it, Ed?
Well, we're not quite done. You gotta flip the page.
Oh, I thought
We're
we were
not,
left.
we're not done yet, Craig.
Okay.
Bob has some more for us.
Okay, hold on, I'll get your, you have time to collect your thoughts on my question.
Well, but, all right, but it is something here, because if you go back to A 1 and 2, a major violation is $250 a day, and a minor violation is $100 a day. But if you go on further, the most they can charge is $100 per day. So 10.3 needs to be changed to some number. At least, at the very minimum, 250, possibly higher than that.
But you stole that.
That's right up
You
here. It
stole
may
that note
require-
right off my thing there.
Because I brought that up last month.
You did. That's why I said that.
No, I get that,
That's
but
why
it's
this
right
is
here.
in here. Well, when I'm done
It's
with
already
this, and you guys
asking
say
us
it's
that
ready,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
this will go to Wayne to review. And my notes will be, please check penalties versus our recommendations for fines, and see if there's a modification that we need to make in our ordinance or the ordinance that's currently with the town. See what it
Is
says.
there,
But do we have some kind of an idea of what number
You-
we would push that to?
where did misdemeanor come from?
I don't know. 250 looks like the one I like.
But I
Yes,
mean,
that's some
you
X.
say in 10-3.
But you could have a major and a minor at the same time.
This is already in
If you
the
have a major and a minor at the same time,
ordinance.
it's a major.
right? This is
See,
already
I like
how the
350.
ordinance is reading. I believe that you
Cause
just
I like to,
gave
250 a
this
day
to
is
us,
plenty,
right?
yes.
Yes.
Plenty of.
Peter was asking.
Oh,
These are our
right.
ordinances.
Plenty of.
Okay.
alright, I mean, I can live with it, but I would live with a bigger smile on my face.
I mean,
I
I
have three
guess
little
this,
eyes, 2 eyes and
I
a.
didn't
just
get
for
them all.
interest's sake, this last page is part of.
They're not worth.
Okay, stop everybody, we're doing an awful job of one at a time, so Peter has the floor.
I mean, is section 1000-10 out of the Connecticut regulations?
Our ordinances.
No, it's
Or your ordinances?
Darien
Town
ordinances.
of Darien.
The town of Darien's ordinances.
Sewer.
I don't know if the town has the authority to declare it a misdemeanor. I wonder.
Well, we should
Where
ask
does it
Wayne
say
Fox that,
misdemeanor?
I don't know.
Well, a misdemeanor is, you know,
In 10-3,
that goes on, that's a criminal record.
Well, that's a question for Wayne Fox, because that's how it reads.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder.
Here are your last ones.
Well,
Back to you.
to
Not that I care.
answer the highlighted question, I propose we go with 250 to match the upper
Yeah.
fine amount on a
Yeah,
daily
it's-
basis.
It's not.
And then the question is, if we're done with comments,
All done.
are we ready to have the town attorney review where we're at?
In my
Peter-
opinion, yes.
Peter, let's just strike that misdemeanor.
Well,
Shall
no,
not-
Well, no, it's already in the reg.
It's already in the reg.
We can send it to the town attorney with a question about that word.
Yeah.
I'd like to add one concept, that maybe the first time offender can come in here and plead their case and we can waive it. At least we get some feedback on.
Well,
yeah,
we don't have waivers in here?
Yeah, that was the
I thought we
con,
did.
I don't see any
they
waiver.
they can argue it through.
They can
us.
appeal.
They appeal.
Yeah, but they, okay.
Where would you like it to go? Where
E,
would-
the property owner
E,
may
yeah.
appeal, or the FP may appeal any and all fines to the sewer commission.
I request you put on the agenda, that was the one where you changed the language.
Yes.
The commission can adjust fines accordingly, or do we need it, that's just common sense, that's why they do it.
But if they're appealing to us, then we have the authority
Yeah.
to do that when they appeal to us.
Well, that's a good question. But does this regulation explicitly state,
That
or should it explicitly state, that the sewer commission
may waive.
has the authority
Yeah.
to reset
Yep.
fines? Or set, reset, or waive fines?
May at its discretion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
Discretion reduce.
Although the open,
No, I would just say,
Reduce, waive.
E, which was already redone by Bob, a little bit. Made
okay,
better.
I mean.
No, these are all good tweaks.
I didn't get the last piece. though.
okay,
Yeah.
Reese, you have a proposal, so why don't you say what you're proposing?
My proposal would be to add something to E,
Sorry.
at the end. The sewer commission may at its discretion, sole discretion, reduce, waive fees according to individual circumstances.
Can we increase?
No, because that's statute.
No, you can't.
I'd like to, the important thing,
Okay.
Maintain,
yeah.
reduce, or
Yeah.
waive?
The important thing is, like, say somebody is running a restaurant and they don't know. I mean,
How can that-
what happened? They didn't clean it right. They just let them.
I didn't know I had to wash my hands or keep the milk at
No, I'm just
100.
thinking it would be great for
You
us
know
to
what
hear
you're calling it.
from the real world of like, what happened? What went wrong? I'd love that
Well,
feedback, so
look,
we
we
get that.
hear appeals all the time.
Right.
And they're invariably, with the 6,000 bills we send out, there are unique cases that require us to use our discretion. So it is likely that we will hear a unique
Yeah.
case that requires us to use our discretion.
Right. So we good with that?
What's that?
We good with that?
Sure.
All right.
Ed, do you have any further thoughts on the reg that you want to share with us, or just not?
There's no electric chair involved.
I know it's gonna take a lot of work to implement it,
Yes.
so I just have to get ready for that piece of it, so.
Well, meaning Board of Selectmen, RTM rules, RTM,
Going
or
out there and actually.
or actually being out, yeah,
Yeah.
we're still months away from that, so.
What,
Do you think we're gonna get a lot of opposition from this ordinance? I don't believe it.
No.
what's your
Few people asked lots of questions, but not a lot of opposition.
No.
What would your, like, guess at
We're putting-
compliance be?
This is a very important part of reducing the expenses of operating our sewer system.
Yes.
Would you say 50% comply? Well,
Now they do.
yeah.
Now they do.
But there are,
There are people that just
That don't.
don't get it. They just don't get it. Oh, that's not working? I mean, you know, places where you open up their grease trap and it's filled to the top again, and it's gotta have at least that much. There's no way it gets like that overnight. And don't tell me he just came and cleaned it last month. Cause we get that all the time.
Yeah.
He was just here. Really?
Prove it. Could we have a reporting system from the vendors, from the suck me trucks that come and do that? I know in Killingworth, the septics are pumped, it goes to the town. It's important to them. And the town actually sends you a letter. 6 years goes by, you
I
don't
mean,
pump your
we
septic.
get their invoices, copies of their invoices if we want, they're supposed to have them on site.
Yeah.
all right, do we need to make a motion to send this to the town attorney, or are you comfortable based on the consensus discussion?
Got a motion,
If
right?
you guys
Oh.
want me to send it?
I'll make a
Motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to send this to town council
I'll
for
second.
review.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. All right, back to the
You trust me to
agenda.
make the changes and?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay, good.
Yes.
Thank you.
we don't need to see it a third time,
No?
until it comes back from Wayne.
Okay.
All right, we are now in superintendent's report, a lot of stuff in here, meaty, Ed,
Yep.
what do you got?
We got the I&I study well drilling, that was done. All of the wells are in place. The groundwater wells are in place, the rain gauges are in place.
When did they go in?
And then, when or where?
When?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They put them in after we
Do we
met.
get a good rainfall yet?
We got one or two good ones to take a look at.
Okay.
So there's one here at the town hall, and one on Royal School. And our groundwater gauges, there's one at the corner of Buttonwood and Brookside, and the other one is on Hecker Avenue, right in front of the police department. Kind of span the whole,
And they'll be in through the end of the year, basically?
no, they're gonna be in there, and I'm not letting them take the rain gauges away.
Oh, okay, we're gonna have those
I may
for a
keep those.
Okay.
We get them in place. The groundwater is the next topic of, we had the kickoff meeting October 9th, I think, 3 of you folks did show up for that.
Sporadically.
And that was very nice of you, thank you. So we went and did a lot of research, we got a lot of information from them, we fed them and we just had a conference call on October 29th to talk about whether we should start the flow monitoring process. And based on the results that we're getting so far, the groundwater is just not high enough that we'd be wasting our
Okay,
money.
so we haven't started flow monitoring.
So they're gonna
Wait,
wait till the springtime. So we started talking about other things that we're gonna be doing, and I got a letter from them listing all the things that we could start doing now, including CMOM, including some dry weather stuff, inspections, pump station inspections, things like that. So we're gonna work on that through
keep
the
moving.
winter,
Yep,
and then be ready in the springtime to do the flow monitoring analysis.
okay.
And I would assume they're working on the GIS map?
They are working on GIS also.
Thought they did a really nice job. You guys, it was a good team to hire.
They're good, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
They're nice.
And yeah, no, I mean, it was also the discussion of knowing that you were gonna have the right people, being able to get along with those people, knowing that they were, you know, I think, especially with Ed's guidance, you know, who was selecting a good team, and we have that team, that's the ones coming to meetings and answering phone calls.
I think they've worked with us on just about every aspect, going from, you know,
Yeah. no,
from
it's
one
been
item
good.
to the next.
They do definitely feel like they're our partners,
Yeah.
not just our consultants,
They have yet to send us an invoice,
which is.
That's nice.
you don't find a lot of companies that'll work with you like this, for this long a period, so, you know. I do expect one soon, but, you know, they've been willing to work with us on all the aspects of this whole project.
5B.
It'd be either,
B?
Yes.
Yeah. It's It's all done. We corrected their bill. We're waiting on their invoice, and.
TV sewer cleaning bid?
Yeah, well, you knew we bid it out already.
Yeah.
We did the work.
Oh, okay.
And,
How much did we clean?
We cleaned everything that we wanted to clean originally, which was the Post Road corridor from Mechanic Street down to Leroy Avenue.
Okay.
Also including Brook Street, Squab Lane, and Grove Street. And we added on all of Corbin and Old Kings Highway south from Corbin to Tokenique, and all of Center Street number 2, which is behind where Back Street used to be. So we did all of that as well. We, if I could just include with this, D. We found a pipe that was agged and cracked on Old Kings Highway South near Center Street. We were scheduled to repair that today. It was canceled due to weather. AJ Penna is scheduled to do that work on Monday. I believe it's the 18th. Monday the 18th, whatever Monday is from. And also we found a rock in the pipe or a piece of asphalt that we're still trying to get out of the 15-inch pipe on the Post Road near the sports shop.
Oh, down that far?
Excuse me?
It wasn't in front of the movie theater?
No, it's down further, yeah. We still aren't positive of what it is, and we've been unable to move it with our equipment, so.
What's plan B?
We're looking for volunteers.
Oh, yeah?
We need a
Head first.
15-inch person.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a rope?
An otter. We need a trained otter.
We made one attempt
Wait,
at it
this is
that
what?
didn't go
What is
well.
that?
8.5 by 11?
Does that
No,
block the
sorry.
sewer completely, half? What's the rock do?
It's not that
Oh,
big.
sorry, take it here.
It's been there for as long as we can imagine, but we, as Ed said, we made an attempt to move it, and we welded a basket onto our jet rotor and a sled, and we tied ropes to it just in case, luckily, because guess what, it broke, and we came out with 3/4 of the sled, so.
Well, that's still.
So now there's a quarter of the sled in there too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and for some reason, we haven't been able to understand why the rock didn't wanna move. Bumped into it with the camera, hit it with the jet rotor pretty hard.
Can you come from the other angle to see what's on the other side of the rock?
We did, well, there was a camera from, the upstream end,
Uh-huh.
and they brought the jetter up and past it, and then we don't have a camera, so we can't look at it while, what we're doing. But we went from the upstream end and tried to push it downstream
Right.
unsuccessfully.
But is there something on the other side of it downstream that's keeping it from moving? You
Couldn't
don't know,
tell.
because
There's
you
still
can't
partial-
look
There's
that
still
way.
some flow in the pipe.
Could it be a
Yeah.
misaligned pipe that?
No, there was no evidence
It's
of that.
lined, it's already lined.
It's already
Oh, it's
lined,
lined?
so, yeah, it's a
Doesn't make
lined
any
pipe.
sense at all.
No.
What the heck is in there?
Well,
If
You
you
know
get-
it's a rock.
If you get the rock, can you
We're-
bring it
we-
in for show and tell?
Here's a, yeah, it's been done.
And you will.
And
How did
it'll
you get in
kill
there?
me for putting something else on the shelf for show and tell.
Yeah.
It could be asphalt, it's possible. And, I mean, the state comes through, they mill, a catch basin lid comes off, a piece of asphalt goes down, they throw the lid back on and make believe like they didn't see anything. I don't know if that's true, but it's possible. When we look at this thing up close, it looks dark with flecks of reflectivity.
So the plan is to try to get everything back out of there.
Yeah, and
And
we're
you're
still
gonna
actively working on that.
Continue to elevate your attempts
Yeah,
and keep us in the loop.
Yes,
Okay?
thanks.
that was both B and
D.
D, thank you. And Seagate Pump Station, I heard from Attorney Robert Maslin just before I came into this meeting. I know you've all heard this before, I'm just reporting what I hear. He believes tomorrow is the day, 9 o'clock in the morning.
We'll all call him tomorrow and ask him.
Do that, please.
Hey Bob,
because-
is today the day?
Yes, because I have been pestering him and he'll confirm
I'm
that.
happy to do that.
Um,
Text
what,
Bob tomorrow.
The
probably
issue
at the
is
whole
the YMCA's attorney apparently is some for some reason on the west coast, but he's here.
Oh, wow.
Somehow he came here and Bob is nailing him down. So,
Literally.
and he wouldn't call me and tell me that he was hopeful,
Right.
given our year-long history trying to get this signed.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No, he knows there's a meeting, he's gonna get reported.
He knew I had a meeting tonight, and he knew I would say that, so. E, 64 Old Kings Highway South, little bit of information on that. The commission asked that we take the $25,000 that the town of Darien was willing to pay Westmere to connect into their sewer, and then divide that amongst the folks that were actually connected to the Westmere sewer. I did a couple calculations, and it comes out to be a real small amount of money, because there are an awful lot of people connected to the Westmere sewer. Dick Hammerneck connected his line from way over on Locust Hill, and a couple people in between there connected, Kelly, all the Westmere properties, and a couple of people in between the pump station. But I think that whole problem goes away, because I spoke to Mrs. O'Brien, who was diligent in getting some prices on connecting her house to the sewer. And due to the presence of rock, she said, I just think I'm not gonna do anything, so. if
She can't afford to get to the street.
Oh, she can't.
Yeah, if she ever comes back and this gets lively again, I would like to present the commission with the two scenarios. Like, if you take the Hammerneck line out of it, because technically that wasn't the Westmere sewer to begin with, but they did connect into the Kelly sewer.
Depending, if they come back, we might have connection fees in our regs.
Yeah.
And that would make things easier. But right now, as it stands, it's well below $1,000, so this sewer commission is not the impediment to her connecting us to the presence of rock.
That's good to know. I mean, bad to know, I'm good.
17th Freight Court is ongoing. Mrs. Shariko's attorney, Jack Kern, has kept us informed, said he has made contact with the adjacent property owner, Mr. Nielsen. They presented him with some information. They're waiting to hear back from him. Nothing really new to report on that. And well,
So
G,
it
I'm
is,
sorry.
okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say G and E,
Yeah,
G and H, we just haven't moved it along,
Okay,
so.
that was great. I liked how quickly those two finished, because I was gonna say we should jump over them and get to executive session. So, you made my job easy.
Can I ask just two
Yeah.
things? We're gonna start putting information together,
Yes.
basically from other towns. Is there anything else you'd like to see when we do put that? Is there any other information that you, and we're struggling to see exactly how we wanna present this to you.
Well, we had a discussion last time,
Mhm.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
and remind me, because I thought we provided a little guidance of what we kind of liked and what we didn't like.
Yeah, because one of the thoughts was the connection fee was related to the size of the water main.
Yes, we liked that. No, didn't like that? What did we do? I forget.
I wrote
Already
down,
announced
Just
no,
listing it. Just mentioning.
Is there any way we could save you guys a ton of time if we got a sense of the five of us where we were? How
Well,
complicated do you wanna get here?
no, I think the consensus of the commission suggested interest in instituting connection fees on some level for consistency and equity.
and I wrote in my notes that we wanted more research, other towns' DEEP guidance docs, other towns, particularly Stamford, and then DEEP guidance docs.
Yeah, staff was directed to obtain for commission review a copy of the document titled CTDEP Methods of Capital Cost Recovery, perform more research on surrounding towns, including determination of City of Stamford commercial connection fee calculations, and to inform First Selectman Jamie Stevenson of the potential of additional fee and associated code change. You did a great job on the minutes.
Yeah.
I honestly
Excellent.
didn't remember what I wrote.
That's why we have minutes.
Yeah.
So that was G, and then H. Discussion ranged from charging a building with multiple housing units as a whole, based upon cumulative water usage for the entire building, to treating every housing unit separately and imposing at least a minimum charge to each unit,
I agree with you.
whichever is higher usage or minimum charge.
You
The
can't
commission,
have whichever's higher, it might flip year to year.
the commission directed staff to consider known buildings and to prepare a hypothetical analysis of building scenarios on Maplewood, Pemberton, Atria, and Allen O'Neill. It wasn't Pemberton, it was
Yeah, it was
Parklands
No, it was Pemberton.
and Pemberton.
No, we didn't say Parkland.
For commission review. I like what we said last time, and I don't want to add to it.
What did you say last time?
So it was in the minutes.
That's what he read.
Just see.
Just what I just read.
So, and now you think I remember? Thank you.
I know, I apologize, I didn't see that in there and I didn't remember it, so
So
I
now we know.
Me either.
okay.
Any new business, Bob?
No, I don't have any.
Ed or
I
Darren?
do have one question though on the appeals.
Mhm.
There's one that is actually an appeal from 2018,
Mhm.
where they only paid the account in October.
Hmm.
So I just want that person to know that because he isn't here, I plan on the amended amount, adding another month of interest. Whether or not you guys agree with it or not, I'm just,
We can, yeah, we can
I'm
cover
just
that next
making the
time.
statement.
Well, specifically, that was appeal.
Jay,
Okay, so you're just putting on the record that additional interest may be a factor in your decision when the appellant does arrive.
yes.
Okay?
Question for you folks,
Yes.
the folks that are not here. We already have a full slated agenda for next month.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to ask that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I've been trying to keep the appeals to anywhere between 10 to 12. and
So we have another
13.
10 already for next
I believe
month?
so, we have about
Wow.
10.
So I think we have 14.
So let's say we have a full slate.
Mhm.
Do we push these folks off to January because they did not show up? Or do we bump someone off in December and put it?
So Peter and I were having this conversation before the meeting started. My inclination is to get them done. And if we have to stay here for another half an hour or another hour, we get them done. And not make people wait months to have things resolved. It is what it is. We're here to serve.
Mhm.
That's the way I feel about it.
I just felt that we shouldn't do 25, 26, 27 of them in one night.
Yeah,
If
I
that
would
got
probably
a little-
get, I'd be annoyed at the 27th.
Why don't we just do this,
I recall it was somewhere around 21, 22.
Yeah, I bet.
why don't we continue them to next meeting, and if they don't show twice in a row, we deny the appeal.
Yes, and they have to reapply if they
It's
want.
3 people.
So see if I can get them on the next month.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's just.
You can put them last on the next month.
It's 2, because we.
It's C and J.
Yeah, we only
Well, we have
table
B
two.
is
Well,
coming back.
and B is coming
Miss
back.
B is
Oh,
coming
okay,
back
yeah, but
already.
I don't, that gentleman I would definitely put on next month's because
Yeah, and I would put him first, because he was here.
He's-
Yeah. Put Wakemore
He was here.
first, and put Roland and Old Oak last.
Because his would be a continuation, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
And then this is.
Okay, we are imminently going to go into executive session. So channel 79, we will, request that you stop filming, and if you want to leave, the only thing we're going to do when we return is adjourn and take no other action.